This place, the Silverstone GP circuit, is a field of memories for all us GP racers. It's what we do that never leaves you.
This is the Silverstone Classic, an event to celebrate the pinnacles of motor racing history. Here gathered are legends of the sport, men who put their lives on the line again and again to push motorcycle racing to the max. These are the World Grand Prix bike legends. Gathered here we've got 11 Grand Prix world titles spanning 3 decades, with our 3 former world champions, American legend Freddie Spencer, who at just 21 won the first of his 3 world titles. Wayne Gardner, the 1987 500cc world champion from New South Wales, Australia. And Phil Reed, the Prince of Speed, 4-time 250cc world champion, including a double with the 125 title in '68 and 2-time 500cc world champion back-to-back in '73 and '74. If world titles aren't your thing, how about a legend in another form? Maria Costello, MBE, the first woman to podium on the TT course at the 2005 Manx GP. Or perhaps the man called back to the paddock when he retired to help the riders organise their safety, a union that will become the hugely important International Race Teams Association, IRTA, Didier de Radigues. We aren't done yet. Stepping into his father's shoes is Freddie Sheen, son of the last British 500cc world champion, the late great Barry Sheen, 500 workman privateer Nicky Schmassman, who was often both the rider and mechanic during his racing days. Mr. Steve Parish, a former British champion himself, whose list of pranks is far too long and illegal to list here. The humble Scotsman, 3-time British Superbike champion Neil Mackenzie, who began his racing days in Grand Prix at the Silverstone circuit.
Each one of us is a legend in our own right. We all have achieved things that we can be very proud of. But what's great about these events is that we can relive the rivalries together and we can share it with others. And that's what makes it special.
The Silverstone Classic gathers riders and drivers from all over the world and from all classes and decades of racing. They're together to showcase the very best of the golden era of racing men and machines. A big part of that is the World Grand Prix Bike Legends, a project that brings together old friends and old rivals back into the same paddock once more to meet the fans who watched these men make history.
We've come here to meet the motorcycle legends. A little bit before my time, but obviously I'm aware of these guys and I know who they are. Absolutely fantastic. The old 2-stroke bikes are phenomenal.
That support and enthusiasm from the fans is again one of those things that I know, me personally, I've always appreciated. Some of that may be my southern United States upbringing where your interaction with others is such an important part of our lives and appreciating that. And those opportunities come about because we do these events, because we go out and we share that with them. And you give them an opportunity, as much as our memories, to reflect on their own. And so it's something that, it's a bond that we share together.
Freddie Spencer for me, so hopefully I'll get to see him and perhaps get a picture with him and an autograph or something like that.
Hi Freddie.
Hello, how you doing?
How are you?
Good.
One of my idols.
Well, thank you, I appreciate that. Thanks for coming.
Are you racing today?
Absolutely.
I'll look out for you.
Yeah.
What number are you racing on?
I'm number 5. I'll be riding the silver and blue bike, which is in the colors of my first time I raced in Europe.
Oh wow.
When I won at the match races in Good Friday 1980.
What is that? Is that an M1?
Yeah, that's an R1.
Can I take a selfie with you?
Absolutely, be my pleasure.
With such a plethora of bikes and riders on display and available for the fans to get up close and personal to, it's little wonder that the Grand Prix Bike Legends venue is busy from dawn till dusk as fans and riders cast their minds back over the history of the sport in a way that's impossible in any other paddock in the world.
So you're racing today then?
Yes.
What time?
At 2 o'clock. Yeah, we're riding the bikes, and then we're also doing later on the Celebrity Challenge, Car Race for Charity.
Oh, excellent.
So it's a great day. Yeah, absolutely.
Fantastic. We'll have a good one.
Thank
too.
you, Pam. Thank you.
Your eyes aren't deceiving you. These are brand new Yamaha R1s in the Legends stands, but these are very special machines, custom painted for our Legends in their liveries from the past.
They look great. Very happy.
Good, I'm
Yeah.
glad you're pleased.
Yeah, no, I'm happy.
Bikes are the focus, of course, but as our Legends are still fixed with the racing bug, they're also gearing up for a showdown in state-of-the-art Austin A30s, and Stavros is bringing his Racing Excuses book out yet again.
I've got a good excuse already because my fan belt fell off in the practice, so I only did about 3 laps. So I've already got that one out of the way. But no, it is like driving a supermarket trolley, you know, a shopping trolley. It's a bit that way. But I don't think we have any strategy. You know what motorcycle racers and car race like when the visor goes down, red mist hits and away you go.
Lining up are Gardner, Spencer, Costello and Steve Parrish, all led by touring car legend Steve Soper.
Soper told me, we're actually driving. He's like the team manager or something.
He doesn't drive.
He's driving, I think, or he's managing or something like that. And he said, be careful with him. He said, because you can go as hard as you want on this way, but you can't go this way.
Well, I'm going to have mistakes. Just get over.
Pedals on either side.
Seatbelts, so get over.
On a roller thing that slides across and have 2 sets of pedals.
The big question is, will they be able to work as a team, or will the red mist descend and the free-for-all begin? With rain forecast, it could get messy.
Trust me, when the visor comes down, that's it. It will be back. I'm going to think I'm 25 years old, and Wayne's probably going to think he's 18 years old, and Freddie's going to think he's... So I can imagine that once the visor goes down and the lights go green, the friendship goes out the window and the rivalry will come back.
Ready for this?
Now it's time to delve a bit deeper into who the Legends are and what makes them stand out in the pantheon of sporting great.
The one thing about time is it gives perspective about the things that you've experienced, the highs, the lows, the incredible moments in time where you've achieved maybe something that is for you very special or even unique, and maybe it's really special to others.
For Freddie Spencer, that moment was his 250cc 500cc double in 1985.
It was especially made difficult for us for 1985 because Honda didn't really have a 250 already, and the 500 wasn't that good, so we had to develop 2 new machines. And also, we were making that transition from the bias ply tire to the radial, which is what is run today, radial tires. I didn't realize how difficult that part was going to be, and boy, in winter testing it was. There was also as much relief though, of it was over. I was pretty beat up and had broken my hand a couple of times that year in practice sessions, and so it was. I remember at the party, and then I had a party in Shreveport later on, and it was just the joy was sharing it with everyone that made it possible. Really, it was.
My biggest achievement in my life is my 2 sons. You know, I can have, they're my 2 best trophies in my cabinet of many, many trophies over many years and many great memories, but you know, my sons are my heroes. I came from a poor history or a poor background, and I lived in a sleepy little steelworks town that I was destined to work in the steelworks, and that was not good enough for me. You know, I wanted to go somewhere. It was a calling for me, you know. And I had a dream as a 14-year-old, and I used to see pictures of Randy Mamola and go, wow, that must be so cool being a professional rider. And Randy's one of my best friends now. And my son's son, Randy's son and my son are best friends. So it's all kind of funny, but I used to look up to these people with enormous respect and it was a dream to be like them. So I suppose my greatest achievement is actually getting onto the world stage and competing against these guys and racing against them and beating most of them. You know, winning is important, but as I keep telling my son, It's about the journey. It's not about the winning. It's not about the losing. It's about the journey of having a good time and having great memories for the rest of your life.
The last time I rode at the TT at a World Championship event, they paid me £50 expense money, and I won a race there, and they paid £100. So I was there in the Isle of Man for 2 weeks, obviously having to pay for my vehicle to come over on the ferry and the hotel for 2 weeks. So I came away from the TT then losing money. But then it became a non-World Championship event, and then to attract the top riders, the ACU, or the Manx Motorcycle Club, realised they had to pay money. And in '77 I went back and won 2 races and returned home with much more money.
When I stopped racing, it was not easy, because it's very particular life, you know, very nice life. I needed something for me again, and to compete and try to succeed. Since I'm a kid, I like photography, so I always take photography everywhere where I go, but not about motorcycle, but just photography. And I decided a few years ago some people have seen my photography and told me it's nice, you should show them and sell them and make an artistic career. So I didn't think it was a good idea, because I always did it for myself. But finally I said, okay, we can try and show it to people and see if they are interested. And but before, first I wanted to create something very personal, particular and personal. So I did that, and people liked it. So I'm very lucky again. After my career in the motorcycle and cars also, now I can have an artistic career as a photographer, and it goes well, and makes exhibition, and it's my new passion, yeah.
It's not just the riders. The bikes they rode are here, and some of these machines are national treasures. Bikes that shaped their generation of machines.
This is the equipment that we raced, the 500 Grand Prix bikes. There's something almost like a wild bronco riding, you know. It's very, to tame those machines, to ride them at their peak. People realized that they were very difficult, and they were very visually that way.
You know, 2 strokes, a lot of people have a lot of love for those motorcycles and want to see them out there being ridden by the guys that race them.
We call it the iconic and the great years and the golden era, but we have to remember we lost a lot because it was very dangerous also. So it had high sides and low sides to it. I just wish that Barry could be here, because it would be wonderful that we could continue our friendship and rivalry, I guess the same. But I've seen Freddie, I saw him born basically, and I've watched him grow all the way up, and I spend quite a lot of time with him. He stayed at my house last week. He chose another route, really. I don't think he wanted to try to live up to his father. That was one of the problems that you have when you have a famous father. Then it's very difficult to live up to that.
Obviously I wasn't around in that era, so you know, seeing that still today, that he, you know, can you know, bring a tear to some people's eyes, and you know, have such an impact on their lives, you know, so long ago, and you know, to still see that today, it's you know, it's a really special feeling for me, and yeah, just great for everyone to be able to enjoy the weekend.
So many happy memories at Silverstone. It's a special racetrack for me. The BRDC, who owned Silverstone, in 1985, they gave me a Grand Prix opportunity. They wanted a young rider to send to Grand Prix. Their idea was to try to find another Barry Sheene, who of course was our most famous rider ever probably. So Silverstone Circuit, BRDC, for 2 years they sponsored me in GPs, and they gave me this opportunity to come into Grand Prix. In 1987 I was given my first 500 Grand Prix ride, also at Silverstone with the Suzuki team, first time ever, and I finished 7th, which was great on a very wet Sunday. But this also propelled me to other things. It gave me opportunities. There was teams could see that I was able to ride a 500. So again, a special day at Silverstone for me.
I mean, I've had a really fortunate career, and which has included being the fastest woman around the Isle of Man TT course, the first woman to ever stand on the podium in a race around the TT course, because there's so few women competing in motorcycle racing. So you tend to stand out, and other women and girls would approach you and want to find out about the sport. And then obviously with my achievements, yeah, I think I do have a responsibility, and in wanting to give something back, I became a member of the FIM Women in Motorcycling Commission. I also mentored some of the girls in the European Junior Cup Championship, and I run women-only track days. So I do try and, as much as possible with the spare time that I have, give something back to other women that want to come into the sport or just become a motorcycle rider.
About everything in life, you have to go, if you want to do something, you have to go through and try your best. Giving up was no option. I went alone to Australia, me and my bike. I was a mechanic, the chief of everything, but it was a really good experience to do this. I scored there my first points, and I'm really proud of that.
Because I started from zero, I was myself with my mother and a motorcycle, and I went racing, and for some crazy reason I had a successful career. So I just like to tell everyone, if you want something and you have the passion and you have the desire, you can make anything happen, because if I can make it happen, which is the most unlikely thing, then anyone can.
Riding these bikes is still both a challenge and a thrill for these riders. Some riding bikes from the years they raced, others like Phil Reed riding something a bit more modern and user-friendly. One of the most interesting combinations was current Moto2 Grand Prix rider Remy Gardner, son of Wayne and the 2000 title-winning RGV 500 of Kenny Roberts Jr. What did Moto2 racer Remy think of the two-stroke 500?
Just love the sound of it. I don't care anything else. Just going ding ding everywhere.
But it's instant throttle response. That's what's good about it.
Yeah,
you open them, it goes.
You touch it and it just goes. Wah!
Yeah.
It's a bit stiff on the front. Like on the bumps, it's very harsh. But the rear is good. Like I was sliding it coming out of the corners. So it's fine. But yeah, it's just instant power. You touch the thing and it just goes. Rah! Just straight away.
Didn't I leave any lines on the ground? Did I leave any?
Yeah, there was black lines coming through.
Yeah. Good. I just wish they didn't stop racing them now, because it's so much fun.
I would like to have a little bit more racing spirit, but then it will go further and further and further. You need to have to make gearbox, you adjust the bike, to everything to adjust. But for this you need time, and you can't do it from one moment to the other. But still, the old lady made it very, very well.
It was great fun. I mean, it's amazing when you come behind people like Freddie and Wayne, and they've got the leathers on from back in the day, and also Didier, and so you're like taken back in time. So it's good fun, and they still ride the same. They still got the same riding styles, but we're all a little bit more careful now.
Well, on the second lap I saw the red light. I thought, that's funny. We were told to do 5 laps, and I kept going around seeing these red lights and no flags until I got to Stowe, and they flagged me off. And then it took me half an hour to find the way back here into the paddock. But I mean, that Yamaha is so fast, it's unbelievable.
Remember, it's not just about riding around and giving the fans the thrills of these legends on racing motorcycles once again. No, there's also some serious stuff to take care of. The Invitational Celebrity Challenge Race. Onto the race itself, and after a quick practice and a team briefing for the legends from one man familiar with a bit of contact racing, that's team captain and touring car legend Steve Soper. What's the strategy for our ultra-competitive legends?
What's going to happen is Wayne's starting up the front, so he's going to knock most of the cars out the way so I get through quicker. That's really the plan. And I've got a special system where I turn something on and all the oil comes out the back of my car and everyone else goes off the track.
Well, get through it. You know, that's the main thing, is get around, get a good start, finish your race. That was the first time I'd been in one of those little cars, and kind of still learning the racetrack a little bit. It's an interesting...
It's a long track.
It is a very long track.
There's a lot to learn.
Yeah.
But yeah, for me, that's the first time I've been in a race car on my own. So the only few laps I've done before have been with somebody coaching me. So that was the first time I've been let loose in it on my own, and that was great fun.
And it's just a quirky little car. We want to do the best we can individually, and that will be the best for the team, you know? And so we all want each other to do well.
Rain wasn't enough to dampen the racer's edge of the World Grand Prix Bike Legends team, with team captain Steve Soper taking the win and Wayne Gardner right behind in fourth. Though Steve Parrish didn't fare quite as well as he hoped.
It was very interesting because we had two starts and then the rain came and everything was going all right, but I went and spun on the last lap. I went 3 circles over at Stowe Corner, so I'm an idiot. It was my own fault, so I lost maybe 3 or 4 places then, but it was okay. It was really, really slippery out there. To win things and be good at something, you have to be single-minded and you have to want to do it, and you could see it from all the guys here, whether they were rugby players or bobslayers or rowers. Everybody was, determined to do a good job, so it made for really interesting racing.
The whole weekend is so nice of a build-up. And we're all extremely busy talking to the fans and talking to everybody and doing photos and interviews and so on. And then to ride against them and pass them and outbreak them and things like that, it's extremely gratifying for me. And when I watch it and then I see my son came by and I went, wow, look what I've done there. That's fantastic. And it's good to watch him. I'm going, oh, steady Remy. And I watch him, he's off the corner sliding and leaving black lines. I went, wow, that's my son. You know what I mean? It's makes me proud. Makes me proud on the whole weekend, and it's fun for me to go and participate that, and with the riders, with the greats, and ride this far away from them on the track. And you know what a thrill that is. It's not many people can experience that in life, so I'm extremely lucky.
The legends are done for 2017, but stay tuned. Bigger and better things are in store for 2018, with more events, more bikes, and some serious racing on the cards. You don't want to miss it.